Oh man, so it's a Sunday and we've got Bitcoin up almost 1%, just over the $30,000 level mark. We've interestingly got FANTOM going the other way, down 3.5% today, sitting at 36 cents. We're going to look at that. We've also got an update from some of the aftermath around Terra Luna, so make sure you stay tuned till the very end. Smash up the likes and subscribe if you'd like my perspective. Consider joining the course member live streams, ijaz.uk/member, 3 times weekly live streams, technical analysis, fundamental analysis, and you get a group to bounce ideas off of each other. Anyway, let's get straight into the chart here, because as you see, as we were monitoring yesterday, Bitcoin was creating what we were worrying would be a dead cat bounce. And the reality is we're not quite out of this pattern just yet. Remember, if we take a look at the diagram, the carefully crafted diagram of a dead cat bounce, you have your big move to the downside. You get almost a bit of a relief rally before then, in the theory of a dead cat bounce, the cat continues to fall to the downside. Now, if we go to Bitcoin, we had a big move to the downside. We saw the buy the dip volume come in at 25,300. That's that big wick down here. It then got bought, with the dip then got bought. We created a high just at about 31,000 here on the hourly chart, okay? And then we started going back down again. Now, the good news here on the downside is we didn't just continue going down, back down to 25,300, okay? That would have been a lower low. So on the hourly, we've managed to create a higher low, which is good. Now, we need the higher low, like I said yesterday, to be matched with a higher high. If we can get the higher high, now we are creating an upward trend, which is really good. So in essence, what we need from Bitcoin is a push beyond 31,000, which would be a really nice move. You can see we're kind of green candlesticking here on the hourly. We're holding at the 31,000, but we're not quite out of the way. Okay, so whilst we're in this territory, it's still dangerous. Overall, the strength continues to be with the bears, and we have to give them that credit that they're in control. Okay, we can't say the bulls are in control at this point if and until we don't get past 31,000, which is this high here, and start working our way to this level here at 32,600, our next important zone. Now, what's the reason for that? Well, again, if you come back to this pattern here, what can happen sometimes is after the cat has initially fallen and bounced, right, the dead cat bounce, it can just have some hang time. And it's that hang time that sometimes catches eager longs, eager to jump into the upside, to jump in. Whereas the cat could just be hanging. The bears could just be taking extra time to just call off here, letting the price kind of move sideways and not too bothered before then just letting it and then drop. Right? So it's just hang time. Think of a basketballer in the air just hanging there before coming down, right? So we don't actually have upwards momentum until we break 31, until we start working our way towards 32,600. So that's what we're seeing on Bitcoin. And I can go into the charts of any coin, right? I can look at FANTOM, which is sitting right here, and you can see the exact same pattern. Your first bottom, a higher low, which is really good, waiting to post that higher high. And you can use the same philosophy on FANTOM. It will need to be beyond 43 because we created a really big wick on this candle. But really, anything above 41 starts to look pretty good here on FANTOM. Same with ADA, right? It's the same pattern, on all altcoins, waiting for that move. It's just waiting for Bitcoin. Look at Solana, waiting for Bitcoin what to decide. Now, this is technically a bullish pattern, sorry. This is quite a nice pattern. You've got a low with a higher. Let's look at it on Bitcoin, on FANTOM. It's a little bit easier. You've got your low. You've got a higher low, which is good, okay? So you can also call this kind of like a Jack and Jill pattern or a double bottom pattern. Some people call it a W pattern, right? And then you get a good breakout to the upside. So this is really good. But again, you've got to get past these levels on FANTOM at about 43 on that wick, but you could technically use 41. But more importantly on Bitcoin, because if Bitcoin breaks out, those altcoins are going to follow. We know that. We need to be looking at this 31,000 mark here. And we can just pop a small horizontal line here. Pop that there. That's where we're looking at. Okay, if we can get above that line, then we're going to look pretty good here on Bitcoin and many of the alts. So that's what we want to look out for. If and until we don't manage to get above that line, we could just be hanging and the bears can take control again and start sending us back down to this low at about 25,000. Hopefully we don't see that, and it can happen quickly. So you need to be really careful. So what am I doing in this market? I'm not buying right now. I'm not buying at 30 when there's a risk we could be falling to 25, 24. I'd rather wait. If we do get confirmation that we're starting trending to the upside, i.e. we get above this level and then above 32,614, good. Then we've got indication that we could be heading to the upside. Okay. So that's what I'm looking at from a technical perspective. If you look at the fear and greed index sitting here on a Sunday, it's ticked up 1 point to 10. Again, that's because Bitcoin's managing to hold quite nicely at 30, but it doesn't mean anything until we start pushing up a little bit higher. I'm just scared of that hang time could then lead us to the downside. So market's still fearful. Again, that reminds us that this is when it's difficult times, there's fear in the market, and we need to get to work. We can also look at what's happening this week, okay? Because we've got one key event coming up this week, which I want to share with you, and that's coming on Tuesday at about 6 p.m. ET. So if I scroll down at 6 p.m., you're going to get Fed Chairman Jerome Powell speaking, okay? Again, high impact event for the markets. And the important thing here is with Jerome Powell is if you remember last time in March when he announced the 0.25% rate hike, subsequently, in his appearances, he spooked the market. He U-turned, right? He then mentioned that he's going to front-load interest rates. So really important, what is Jerome Powell going to do? Is he going to come out hawkish? Is he going to come out aggressive when the markets have already been struggling quite badly? Or is he going to take it a little bit easy, knowing that the markets are just a couple of percent away from a 20% correction, which would indicate an official bear market in equities? So this is going to be important. Does Jerome Powell come out soft? Does he come out hawkish, aggressive? Because if he does, he's going to send the market back down the extra 2%, and then the market will be in the 20% correction bear market territory. So really important on Tuesday, 6 p.m. No doubt we'll cover that here on this channel, so make sure you are subscribed. Let's also take a look at the other thing I wanted to point out very transparently is FANTOM is underperforming Bitcoin today, right? So if you look at the FANTOM versus Bitcoin chart, it's actually 3% down. So you got Bitcoin up about 0.8, and you got FANTOM down about 3. So net, you're down 3.9% today versus Bitcoin. If this is the FANTOM Bitcoin chart, not to be mistaken with the FANTOM USD chart, and it's forming a similar pattern. But what you did see was yesterday, FANTOM had a better day than Bitcoin, okay? It outperformed Bitcoin quite nicely, and that is probably why we're getting a little bit of a relaxation today before a nicer move to the upside. So not too much to read into that. That being said, if we look at TVL, we know FANTOM is going to be one of the chains that are harder affected by this whole Terra Luna crash for a few reasons. I mean, one of the first reasons is FANTOM is a smaller cap project, so smaller cap projects are going to get hurt more. Secondly, FANTOM has a stablecoin, right? So that's going to affect the FANTOM ecosystem as well. We had the whole contagion effect after the UST drama and debacle that affected all coins really with a stablecoin. Then the issue on top of that is FANTOM is very heavily DeFi backed, and you can see across here, all chains are getting punished. If you look at the 7-day change, 30% lost in TVL on Ethereum. This is huge. It's sitting at 71 billion. This was 120 plus on Ethereum. This is huge. Things like Binance Chain down 26%, 37% for Avalanche. You've got 27 on Solana, Tron 11%. Obviously, Luna is out of the rankings right now. You've got 30% lost on Polygon, FANTOM 47%. So you can see pound for pound, FANTOM is getting hurt a little bit more. Now, if we zoom into that, if we want to try to find out which protocols are leaking the most, you can then go in and see which ones those are. And Curve Finance is losing 53%. Of course, we remember that a lot of the troubles with the UST drama was caused by Curve Finance being liquidated, drained first, right? It's part of the coordinated attack. So naturally, Curve Finance was getting headlines, and you can see people scrambling to take their money out there. You can then see Spooky Swap and the DEXs. Of course, you can see Beethoven Scream. Naturally, this is what's going to happen, right? Anybody who's invested in these types of plays, when you see something like Anchor Protocol go down, you then look at your DeFi plays and you go, hang on a second, these are slightly riskier than Anchor Protocol, right? And so people start making that decision of, okay, should I start taking some off? Should I be waiting for things to get a little bit safer before re-entering the market? So not much I would read into that. That's just part and process of the effect that the whole Luna drama has. And anybody who thinks this is an isolated case and we should be celebrating this, absolutely not. Even if you weren't holding Luna, this is going to have huge implications for crypto. And another evidence of that, we saw the contagion, we saw price goes down. Bitcoin would not be in this territory if it wasn't. I don't think we would have got to 25, 24 and be worried about these levels if it wasn't for the Terra Luna crash. I think we would have saw the support come in at 29.30, and I think Bitcoin would have continued to run to the upside. Remember, we were monitoring that on our chart, right? We had our weekly chart here. where we were following this trend line, and we were very confident if this whole Terra Luna situation didn't happen, we would have got some support coming in from here, if not at least using this 29 level and then bouncing. Now we still, even despite everything that could happen, we could on the weekly chart still get that critical close above 29. We've got another 10 hours left before this candle closes, so maybe I'll do another video later on today in about 10 hours or so time, or maybe just before then. But if we can get a close above that, that's going to be really important for us to start heading back to the upside. It's the last bit of hopium we have, because then what we can say is, if we look back on this weekly candle, we can say all of this is real, but this big wick which took us to 25 was just a factor of what happened with Terra UST, and we've got over it, right? We've now managed to work our way back up, but if not, we could still be entering down to 24, 20. That's what we need to look out for, okay? So we want to keep this close above 29. That's going to be really important. And we're close to it, right? We're just at 30,200, 10 hours to go. Hopefully we can hold that level here on Bitcoin. Now, coming back to that impact I'm having, you've got to take a look at this. Just in US SEC Commissioner Hester Peirce says stablecoins are likely to be regulated in light of Terra's UST crash. And this is just going to further highlight, you know, the impact that this whole public drama, this was huge, right? Anybody and everybody was talking about Terra Luna. We're in a bit of a crypto winter anyway, but suddenly everybody remembered crypto. They were looking for videos, they're looking for explanations to hear and understand what is this crazy thing that's happened. And no doubt there'll be documentaries, there'll be movies made about this, explaining what happened with Terra Luna. But this just gives further fuel to the SEC and the regulators to go ahead and regulate stablecoins. And it was already on their radar. We know that. I've covered this off since September 2021, that stablecoins are to be regulated. And I think personally, probably not the most popular opinion in crypto, I think a little bit of regulation is fine just to stop stuff like this from happening. Because ultimately, these kind of failings create more of does more bad for crypto than it does good. Okay, so all the new people that came into crypto with honest intentions and ambitions to grow their net worth, to participate in decentralized money, who put their money in UST and staked it on Anchor Protocol, learn how to use DeFi, set up their MetaMask wallets and Terra Station and the rest of it, they got burned, and we're going to lose some of those in crypto forever. And that is why regulation is important to an extent. Now, of course, everything has its fine line, and we, you know, it's our job as crypto people, as the crypto family, and the large influencers far bigger than this channel here, to voice opinion when regulation goes too far, to put their foot down when regulation goes too far. But to say all regulation is bad, I mean, that's crazy, right? If we had roads without traffic lights, cars would not be as prolific as they are, right? The reason cars, you know, became ubiquitous and mainstream were exactly because regulation came in. When you have roads, when you have traffic lights, when you have structures in place, more people can use the innovations safely. And that's what we're saying here in crypto. Nobody wants wide-arching free roles for the SEC to regulate it as they want, but put some structures in place to say how many times are these stablecoins being lent out, how much rehypothecation is going on, who's auditing it, do they have cash backing in stable liquid assets? These things are important, basic, should be made publicly available so you and I can make informed decisions when investing. Really, really important. And then the final thing really in terms of Do Kwon is what's going on with the reserves. I mean, we've yet to hear from Terra or Do Kwon about what is going on. We saw a tweet come out, yesterday from Terra saying a post-mortem on everything that transpired this past week is in progress. It will be published ASAP. Yeah, fine. Do your post-mortem, but where's the cash? Do you have to type up a long story? It's almost as if they're going to have to type up this whole narrative of what's happened, but we just don't have any visibility on where those Bitcoin reserves have gone. So there you have it, guys. Luna announced their plan. Not many people are buying into this plan so far. I gave my views in the videos yesterday, which I'm going to link up for you guys to go watch. For crypto, we're at this interesting space. We've got these critical levels now we need to hold at 29,000. If we can build above 30,000, things can start to look a little bit better. But remember, this is just weekend trading. Tomorrow the markets are going to open up, and if the markets want to start heading towards bear market territory, crypto is going to follow it. So we're going to monitor this when the market opens tomorrow. Tuesday, you then have Jerome Powell speaking. Again, that's going to move the market. That's going to move crypto. So let's take this day by day, build out our portfolios, build out our conviction. Just remember, we're investing in the future, in great plays, which we want to hold for many years. And if you've got that mindset and you're not trying to make a quick buck like some people are right now buying Luna, they're the same old people. They're going to be the same old people in a couple of years wondering why they haven't built any wealth, because they're just looking for shortcuts all the time. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, smash up the likes and subscribe. As always, if you like my perspective, consider joining our course member live streams, ijaz.uk/member. Link is in the description. Get involved in the community. figure out and learn with us how to build the right sustainable portfolio, how to do technical analysis, how to do fundamental analysis, how to build wealth sustainably over time in crypto. And I'll look forward to seeing you over there. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you in the next one.